Okay, so we've already done the AFC teams. Now let's take a look at the NFC teams. And a lot of changes happened there, especially at the quarterback position. So this conference looks wide open. Dallas is just a team that continues to shoot themselves in the foot when they really should not be. This is a team that's been talented, but hasn't been able to do anything. Besides signing Dante Fowler and re-signing Michael Gallup, didn't really do a whole lot, while losing Randy Gregory to the Broncos, losing Lyle Collins to the Bengals, losing Mari Cooper to the Browns, and also losing Connor Williams to the Dolphins. I don't know about this team. So the Giants with new head coach Brian DeBall didn't really do a whole lot in free agency. And really that might have been for the best, because they had one heck of a first round, getting Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal, two of my top 3 players in this draft at 5 and 7. Nothing short of amazing. Giants are definitely a team that could be on the rise soon, but only time is going to tell. And we need to see what happens with Daniel Jones. Can he really be their future, or are they going to be quarterback shopping next offseason? So the way that the Eagles just manipulated the first round was nothing short of amazing. They turned 3 first-round picks into Jordan Davis, another first-round pick next year with the trade with New Orleans, and A.J. Brown. Even though they only made one selection, they made great use of those picks. Now, losing Fletcher Cox and Brandon Brooks, yeah, that does hurt a little bit, but getting Hassan Reddick, that is amazing. He's been a very good pass rusher the past 2 seasons, and I could really see him doing good things for Philadelphia. I think they got him for a good amount of money for both sides. Philadelphia, definitely a team to look out for this year, especially if Jalen Hurts can really show what he can do. As much as I want to talk about how much I hate Daniel Snyder, I don't want this video to go on for an hour, so I'm just going to talk about the team itself. Getting Jahan Dotson in the first round, a little bit of a risk, but if it works out, it works out. Losing Brandon Sheriff to Jacksonville, it's a big loss. He was one of the best guards in the league. Getting Carson Wentz from the Colts, I don't know if that's going to work out. Carson Wentz has been inconsistent and has had problems staying on the field, so we'll see what happens there. Really, it could be interesting to see what happens with Washington, but I don't know. I really don't expect much from them this year. I don't know what Chicago's thinking this offseason. It seems like they lost key players, but didn't do anything to replace them. Lost Khalil Mack in the trade with the Chargers, and then they lost Allen Robinson to free agency. Now, I know they have Darnell Mooney, but they need someone to go along with them. Maybe they're thinking then Velus Jones in the 3rd round. That could help them out, but I don't know if I want to put all my eggs into a rookie wide receiver. Now, they got some good secondary help in the 2nd round with both Kyler Gordon and Jaquan Brisker. But really, I don't know what the Bears are thinking. Justin Fields did not have a great rookie season, and I don't know how he can improve if the Bears don't give him anything to work with. Even though the decision makers have changed, I don't know what the Bears have. Okay, I'm just going to say this. I love what the Lions did in the 1st round. Aiden Huffman at the 2nd overall pick, a guy that everybody thought was the best player in this draft. That was amazing. Getting Jameson Williams, trading up 20 spots to take him. I love the aggression. And Williams could be an impact player day 1 and a guy I think could terrorize in the NFL. And then signing DJ Chuck in free agency. And also getting Josh Pascal in the 2nd round, a guy that was a leader for Kentucky's defense. Yeah, this is exactly what the Lions needed. And this is a team that I definitely could see more improvement on the field this season. After all the craziness, all the drama with Aaron Rodgers, he's officially staying in Green Bay, signed a big contract extension. We also saw them sign Jair Alexander to a really big contract. And then in the draft, they get 2 Georgia defenders in the 1st round, in Devontae Wyatt and Quay Walker. And then they trade up in the 2nd round to get Christian Watson from North Dakota State. Now the only question is what's going to happen with Jordan Love. Minnesota's a hard team to really figure out. This is a team that has plenty of talent, but not a lot of results to show for it. And now they have a new head coach and a new general manager. And really, it's going to come down to Kirk Cousins. This is a guy that hasn't really won a lot, despite the statistical success that he has. Can he change that narrative this year? That's the big question. I don't know what's going to happen with Minnesota, but really, it's just going to depend on, again, Kirk Cousins and whether he can get it done. Atlanta has finally admitted that they need to do a rebuild. That's why they traded Matt Ryan to the Colts. And to replace him, they got Marcus Mariota. Okay, it seems like he's going to be a placeholder, but for who? Desmond Ridder they drafted in the 3rd round, but can he show them enough to put their trust into him? If he can't, then they're going to go quarterback shopping in next year's draft. Okay, I'm not the only one that thinks that Carolina could really do something this year, right? This team has a lot of talent. And they just got Bradley Bozeman and Ike Ekwonu to help out the offensive line. They just signed DJ Moore to a contract extension. And again, they have good players all over this roster. The only thing that was holding them back was the quarterback position. Well, that might have changed. They got Baker Mayfield from the Cleveland Browns. And yeah, Mayfield has had his ups and downs during his time in the league. But you know what? When he's got a good team around him, he's been good. That's what Carolina has. A good team. Maybe Carolina could be the surprise team of 2022. I'm calling it right now. I would not be surprised. New Orleans definitely thinks that they can compete this year. That's why they traded their 1st round pick next year for a 1st round pick this year, and were able to get Chris Olave and Trevor Penning in the 1st round. And maybe they're right. This is a team that still has talent. Michael Thomas is coming back from injury. So is Jameis Winston. Last year, Winston was showing that he could be a consistent quarterback in this league, but he just got hurt. Well, now New Orleans has a new head coach in Dennis Allen. Maybe he can pick up right where Sean Payton left off. Who knows? But I'll tell you what, with New Orleans, I wouldn't really doubt them. This team has proven that they can get through tough times. Just when we thought he was gone, Tom Brady decided to come back for at least one more season. Now, Rob Gronkowski did retire for the 2nd time in his career, but they were also able to get back Chris Godwin and Carlton Davis. The starters are there. Is the depth there? That's the question. And it's something that we're not going to find out until the games actually start. Are they going to be able to handle if guys go down with injury? Can they replace them? Okay, for Arizona, this is simple. Make a run. This is a team that started the year 10-0 and was knocked out in the 1st round of the playoffs. How does that happen? I don't know. Keith Kingsbury needs to figure this out because this keeps happening with his teams. They start off great and then they falter towards the end. And that cannot happen when you have a team with Kyler Murray at quarterback and a bunch of talented players around him. It just cannot happen. DeAndre Hopkins has been suspended for the first 6 games, but they were able to get Marquise Brown in a trade with Baltimore. Got back a reliable target that Murray had during his time in Oklahoma. Okay. Figure this out, Arizona. You got to make a run. Because if you don't, I don't know what's going to happen with you if that happens. So the Rams won the Super Bowl last year, and really this team could repeat. I know they lost Odell Beckham, they lost Robert Woods, and Von Miller. But they gained Allen Robinson, and they still have Aaron Donald, they still have Jalen Ramsey, Matthew Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and a few other really good players. Yeah, this team definitely could repeat, and I wouldn't be shocked if they did. The worst possible thing happened with San Francisco. They didn't get rid of Jimmy Garoppolo. He's still on the team. So what does that mean for him and Trey Lance? Well, right now, nothing. Because they're just going to go with, they're assuming Trey Lance is going to be their starter, but if he falters and Jimmy Garoppolo's still on that team, they could definitely go with Garoppolo. But really, I would expect them to trade him before the season starts. So Seattle is doing a rebuild as well, getting rid of Russell Wilson and getting the picks that they got with the players that they got. Now we're going to have a quarterback competition between Geno Smith and Drew Lock. It seems like they should bring in another quarterback, but they're saying that they are okay with that. I don't even know what to think with Seattle anymore. They just do their own thing that seems to have worked for them for a long time. Really, I don't know what's going to happen with Seattle, but this is definitely a critical season for them as we try to figure out just what the future holds for this franchise. Alright guys, that was the NFC side of things. If you haven't checked out the AFC side, go ahead and check that out right now. And I will see you guys next time.